What's going on, guys? Prodigal Lion here. Now, I wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit on the Last of Us Part 2 trailer that we just got a couple days ago and kind of discuss it, because I feel like the trailer is very straightforward seeming in what we are going to be expecting from the game, but at the same time, I feel like Naughty Dog is misleading us. I had mentioned this at the end of my reaction video to the trailer because it seems like it's just very straightforward. It seems like, okay, well, look, obviously Dina dies, Ellie's mad, and she's going to go exact revenge and do justice. But I don't know. It just feels so straightforward, and that's just not what Naughty Dog does. In the first The Last of Us trailer, I remember they had mentioned something about there's a scene where it looked like Joel is bent over holding something like his stomach, and then it shows a scene of Ellie pointing a gun, which during the game, Ellie's pointing that gun at a bad guy that she had just shot, that she was trying to save Joel, but when they put that side by side, it looks like she's about to have to kill Joel because he's infected. Neil Druckmann has said that they did this intentionally to mislead the audience. They did it intentionally to make everyone think that something bad's gonna happen that obviously never did happen. I also remember in the Uncharted 3 trailers, any scene that had Charlie Cutter in it, he was removed from those scenes for the trailer alone, because Cutter was made out to be the bad guy, but obviously somewhere near the beginning of the game we had to find out he's working with Sully, Nate, and Chloe. But during the trailers, he was just portrayed as the bad guy, and that was it. Now let's go ahead and talk about like what the whole trailer is actually portraying. So it looks like Dina and Ellie are together, they're in love. It looks like they go out on like their routes or whatever that the whole group does. Should they get separated? Dina gets caught, Ellie looks for her, finds her, what's presumed to be her, we don't ever actually see her, but then she gets killed, and now Ellie's whole thing is she wants to like avenge Dina's death. But the whole thing is that in the trailer, at no point do we see her get kidnapped, at no point do we see that Dina is the one that Ellie is seeing down, like when she actually walks down into that basement. We don't ever, when we hear the gunshot, we don't see that Dina's the one dead. So this kind of makes me feel like we're being misled. Don't get me wrong, it could all be Dina. They could just be trying to make it a trailer and we don't see it because they want to save that for the actual game. But I don't know. I mean, it's Naughty Dog. And I just feel like that's a very straightforward way for them to have a trailer. Now, don't get me wrong, if that's exactly what it is and that's all they're doing and they're not trying to like mislead us or anything, like I'm fine with that. I mean, like Dina, it's not like Dina was in the first game. She was never mentioned. She's a brand new character. We're not attached to her. Maybe she just gets introduced. We see a little bit of her relationship with Ellie, and then she dies early on, which it would make sense. But at the same time, obviously in the first The Last of Us, Sarah died within the first, 15-20 minutes of the game. At no point did we know Sarah was even a character that existed leading up to the game. You had to play the game. Like, we never saw her in the trailer. We never saw the young Joel in the trailers. We didn't find that scene was going to happen until the game started. So maybe there's some other things that we don't know about that aren't going to be revealed in the trailers. Or maybe they are just like really trying to set up the story, just make us understand what's happening so that we can be prepared and know what the story's about. Now, I will say everybody is still I've seen a couple theories of people still kind of saying maybe Joel's dead and that's just his ghost and he's not actually there, but I don't know. Last of Us is just such I don't really want to get too into that, because Last of Us is a very grounded world. It's supposed to be kind of realistic. It's more about emotion. I don't think that they're going to really go off the edge and do all kinds of supernatural stuff, and that Joel at the end of that trailer is a ghost. I don't see it. I mean, if it happens, whatever. I mean, I trust Naughty Dog. I trust Neil Druckmann. I know they're going to write a good story, so I don't care what happens. I know it'll be good, but I just don't see it. I mean, I don't even really want to get too into the possibilities of that. I just think in the first trailer, where it looked like it's Joel's ghost, I think that they were just trying to hype up Joel, because I mean it took them, that was 3 years ago, and we're just now finally seeing Joel's face. I think it's just to add suspense. They just didn't want to reveal him too early, just to keep us something to look forward to, and that's really it. I just think that's all that was. And then in the most recent trailer, we see that he kind of comes out of nowhere, presumably probably didn't, was probably talking down to Ellie about her plan to go get revenge. And then comes in to save her, or just shows up surprisingly and surprises her to help her out. I just think that's all it is. I don't think there's really any deeper meaning to the whole Joel thing. I just kind of want to take it as it is. So my thing isn't whether Joel is real or not. My thing is I feel like Naughty Dog's misleading us in the whole base of the bad event that happens. They have never specified what the bad event is that happens to Ellie. They have never specified. They didn't specify who she saw die in the trailer. I even read the synopsis for the game. They just said it said something about a tragic event or something that happens that sends her on this journey of revenge. It's all talking about a bad event, and never at any point does it mention Dina's death. So I'm 50-50. I really am. Half of me, I really feel like it's just how it is. Dina's gonna die, and she's gonna be on a revenge mission for her. On the other hand, I feel like there's going to be something major that's going to be revealed to us in the game, and we're being hugely misled. I don't have any idea as to what it could be. I mean, maybe Joel dies. I mean, I just don't see it, because like Dina, I don't understand the point of Dina's character to an extent, to be honest. Like, I don't understand why Dina would even be a character in the game if she's not going to die, you know? I don't know, and it's just like a part of me, there's just so many possibilities there that I don't trust. I don't trust the trailer. I really feel like we're being misled. I don't know, but this is why I love Naughty Dog. They don't reveal too much in the trailers. They don't reveal too much information. They do mislead you so that when you play the game, it's even more of an experience that catches you by surprise, and this is why I love Naughty Dog. Even if it is just the whole Dina thing, I know it's going to be a great game. I mean, at the end of the day, though, like if you look at the first The Last of Us, the whole story arc of what actually happens, there's nothing original about the game. There's nothing really at face value that is totally different. It's what story is told and how it's told in the relationships between the characters. That's what made The Last of Us so great and my favorite game of all time. Not because of the actual like base layer of what's going on or what era is going on in or anything like that. It's how the story was told between characters. So if The Last of Us Part 2 ends up being just about Dina's death and Ellie's trying to get revenge on her, I mean, if that's what the face value base of the story is, I'm totally fine with that, because I know Naughty Dog and Neil Druckmann are going to tell this much bigger story about between Ellie and Joel, and Ellie making some probably emotional and relationship damages to herself, and not to mention there's still some things that we could definitely figure out that get wrapped up from the first Last of Us. Like, biggest thing that everybody's not talking about and is ignoring is Joel lied to Ellie at the end of the game. And we know the fireflies are still going to be a thing within this game, because in the very initial trailer we saw the firefly logo spray painted on that tree. So we know fireflies are still going to exist. We know that Joel ended that last game telling Ellie a lie, and I highly doubt that we're going to go throughout this whole second game without Ellie finding out. I guarantee she finds out he lied to her. They probably run into the fireflies. Like, I just feel like there's going to be a whole different aspect to the story we're not even thinking of. We're all focused on Dina, and that's it. Like, we are just focused on Dina and her death, and that's like what Naughty Dog's presenting to us. But there's going to be this whole other aspect to the story that I just think that is going to surprise us and is going to bring a whole new aspect of the storytelling in this game. So yeah, I just wanted to share a couple of my thoughts on that trailer, because it's something I thought about and I had mentioned in the reaction trailer. It's just there's so much about this game, and they said it's going to be the longest game they've ever made. The Last of Us Uncharted 4, I think, was actually their longest game ever. It was pretty long. I can't remember how many hours it was, but it was pretty long. So if The Last of Us Part 2 is longer than that, there's going to be a lot of time for story in there. And you already know, we're not going to be spending that whole time just focused on Dina and Ellie getting revenge. There's going to be some major plot points. I have a strong feeling that we're gonna see. But that's it for now. I just wanted to share a couple of my thoughts. Like I said, super excited for The Last of Us Part 2. Today is Outbreak Day, so I'm sure that we're gonna find out at least a little bit more information about the game. I don't know how much. I don't know if we're gonna see any kind of new gameplay or anything. But I'm sure Naughty Dog's gonna reveal some stuff today for us. So that's exciting. But that's all I have for right now. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you guys have any thoughts on The Last of Us Part 2 and what the story is going to be about, let me know down in the comments, because I'm very intrigued by what Naughty Dog is going to be giving us in this game. Do you think that they're misleading us with the Dina death in the trailer? Or do you think that they're just they're just showing us straight up what's happening, and then there's going to be a whole bunch more happen during the game with that? So just let me know your thoughts down in the comments, but that is it for now. I will see you guys in the next video.